welcome to Carp Fever TV. I'm Toby Gill. We're down here at Lemington Lakes, and this is Andy Ellis. He's going to explain what's going on down here today.
Well, as you know, we lost a good friend and quite an important part of angling media last year, Kev Green, who was a good friend of ours, and he championed what I was doing down here. Obviously, with Andy and Debbie, the owners, I've been able to sort of have the freedom of the place to develop it, and Kev got involved. He came down and wanted to do features, and he was so enthusiastic. It was brilliant. You know, he did some awesome features, and Mick took some lovely pictures for some decent features. And obviously, his passing saw I was totally gutted. I really wanted to do something to show, you know, what he meant to everyone. I tried to do something briefly last year, but it was too late, and I couldn't get much support, to be honest. But since Brian Skoyles came on board, offered to help, it's been brilliant since then, and I'm just so thankful, really. We've got Terry Earn fishing here, Ian McMillan
See him in the background there.
So many different anglers, all top names come down to help out and show their support, and yeah, it's great. You know, it's nice to be able to do something like this, you know.
Most definitely, and like you say, you've really got some support this time around, and
yeah, it's brilliant. I mean, having obviously Brian Skoyles knows a lot of people, and he's got a lot of influence, and yeah, it's nice. It's just, you know, a bit overwhelmed, really, the fact that the people have turned up, catching a few fish, and yeah, people seem to be having a good time. So it's all
and
good.
The weather's holding off a little bit as well now, and it's been a bit drizzly this morning, but
yeah, it's a bit moody.
Looking all right at the minute. And hopefully a few more members of the public will be down a bit later. So
yeah, I think they'll keep dripping in, and it's all for charity anyway. We've got a few quid for Kev's chosen charity. So, and yeah, it's just nice to be able to do it. Really nice to be involved. You know, it's great. It's really good.
Fantastic. Well, keep watching. We're going to have a little wander around and get a few words from each and every person that's here, and yeah, just see what the day entails.
Well, I'm first. They put me on the spot first to talk about Kev, and I won't babble on too much. I'm not a man of massive emotions, but it's ironic that we're down here at Lemington, and it's I'm actually in the swim that I actually first met Kev on Bishops, and he was just instantly very enthusiastic, very happy, and we've got to do. I think we're doing 2 features for the Times and improve your course fishing, and he just instantly put me very much at ease. I was quite nervous because I'd never met him, and we caught a few fish, and we ended up obviously talking about football, with me being Stoke City fan and him loving Man City. So he just relaxed me totally, and then I went on to do quite a lot of stuff with Kev over the years, and it was always very much a pleasure, not just to fish with him, but to work with him, just to be in his company. He just had that way about him of making you feel happy, never seemed to be negative about anything. You know, and it was just a massive shock to us all when he passed away. So, you know, he's sadly missed, as he is by everybody, and I think it's very fitting that some big names and a lot of effort and thought have gone. I think that was a fish. Have gone into this event. So it was a pleasure to be asked, and obviously it was an instant yes to come and show my support for Kev and his family, and obviously hopefully we can raise plenty of money for his chosen charity. So you know, Man City did win the league, and he did get to see that, even though they technically bought it with all the money. But yeah, absolutely true gentleman, very, very sorely missed by me and everybody else in the angling world. So yeah, sadly missed.
Kev Green, one of the most enthusiastic, funny, professional people I ever met in my angling world. So many careers have been touched by Kev, or had been touched by Kev. Some started by Kev. Some very big names I could name, but my memories of Kev, God, I was just how long you got really. I've done a lot of work with Kev with improve your course fishing, up to her neck in water, chasing fish out on a dead set of pads in the winter, a burial. Just I'd bore you to death, but tragic. My heart's turning over now. It's horrific what's gone on there, and the angling world and myself have lost a very dear friend. So wherever you are, mate, I hope you're getting a few.
Well, I grew up reading Improve Your Course Fishing. You know, it was a treat every month when I'd finally get that magazine. So it was a great honour a few years ago when I finally got to meet Kev. I met Kev a few times over the years, and every time was an awesome experience. You know, he's a lovely guy. And I think the one thing he sort of left for me was, you know, the work hard sort of, you know, theory of life. And, you know, I always looked up to him for that. You know, he's the editor of the biggest magazine in England, and it involved an awful lot of hard work. And I always used to think, you know, I'm going to work as hard as him, and, you know, it'll get you places in life. So big up, Kev. Thanks for those awesome times I met you. Cheers, mate.
Well, hi there, my name's Graham Drury. I'm really fortunate that I'm here fishing on Kev's special day. I was invited because I'm a very good friend of Brian Skoyles, as you probably all know, was a very close friend of Kev's. And I helped him finish Kevin's book, which has just nicely been released, with a lot of the photography. And it was a lovely project to be involved with. So, oh, and here's the thunder. He's speaking to us.
My association, I'm Julian Cundiff, my association with Kev goes back, blooming heck, it must go back to the early 90s when he first started writing for Carp Fisher. From there I saw him obviously get various jobs, and he ended up working for Angling Times. I was the weekly columnist for Angling Times, and Kev ended up editing my work and then sorting me out various fishing events, and I think we went together fishing on many occasions, particularly Catch 22 in Norfolk. Had many great fish, had some many great times. A really super bloke, and it's great that so many of his friends and family have turned out today. This one's for you, Kev.
Well, I'm Mick Brown, and I've worked with Kev many times in his days at EMAP and Bauer. And one thing I remember about Kev, apart from his really cheerful disposition, is that he just made the job so easy. You know, he's a very intelligent lad. He was even sort of topics he wasn't really up to speed with. He soon picked it up, and he got a great memory. And what I liked about it is that, you know, when the feature came out, he nailed it. He got, you know, he understood what he was doing, even if it wasn't a topic that he was that familiar with. And so, you know, I'm like the other lads. I'm here just to show my respect and admiration for him. And you know, I think we can all say we really miss him.
Definitely.
Hello, I'm Andrew Hunt, friend of Kev Green and Joe Green and family, and also very privileged to have worked with Kev for I think 5 or 6 years at least, probably longer, making television programmes for Discovery Channel. We were Diesel Films, and Kev was working for the various magazines at Angling Times, Improve Your Course Fishing and so on, and we probably had one of the best periods of our lives working together, I think. We became incredibly close and good friends, spent hours and hours on the riverbanks and the lakes and so on, working together, but of course socialising and laughing and so on. And I've just been asked to say a few words, and I was panicking because I'm not really used to being this side of the camera, and I was trying to think, what shall I say, and things like tomato ketchup, Heinz tomato ketchup came into my head. Kev would have approved of that, but why I'm mentioning it I don't know. Manchester City, I don't know what they are, a pop group or something, I've got no idea, but he used to go on about them a lot. But being serious, I mean, I worked with a lot of presenters in the business, corporate world, show world and everything, and events. Kev was a natural presenter, and I think that's why my hobby of fishing and my business of making programmes, when they combined together with Kev, we really did gel as a duo. And Angling Times TV, Predators and Carp Crew were not one person. They were Kev, me, Matt, Sean, and all the stars of the programmes. It was just a chemistry, and the programme making part was a very small part of someone who had amazing fishing abilities, amazing character, generosity of spirit, good bloke. I don't want to over-egg it, but he really was a really good bloke, and that's how I remember him, and I loved him.
My first memories of Kev Green were when myself and Brian Skoyles took him to Homersfield as a probably 12 or 13-year-old and helped him to catch his first double on a Carp Society junior fishing, and since his untimely death an awful lot's been written and said about his prowess as an angler, his prowess as a television presenter and an editor, but I think the most important thing was that he was just a lovely fella. And I think, you know, for all his talents, you know, the thing that will stick in my mind the most is what a lovely, straightforward fella he was.
Well, I think this Kevin's day has been a bit special, which is a little bit like the guy himself. I mean, Kevin was just awesome. From a kid catching his first carp, writing about it and sending it in to me as a story, to writing articles about me, to going fishing as friends, to doing features. I honestly can say that Kevin was probably the most professional person I've ever worked with, and one of the best mates I ever had. And what's happened has just been a tragedy. And I hope this day has just done a little bit towards his memory. And I think the number of people that have turned up and the attitude around the lake has just been awesome, which I think really just sums up what the guy was like. Kevin Green, we all miss you. You were brilliant.
Well, good morning. We're Kev Green Day. In memory of Kevin Green, brilliant bloke. Met him a few times, worked with him down the bait factory a couple of times where he's come and done some filming. Bundle of energy. It's a massive loss, really. Difficult to know what to say even. It's, you know, life can be cruel, and it seems to be cruel to the wrong people.
I always feel myself very privileged to have met Kev and fished with him and done many features with him over the years. He was one of life's lovely people. He was always smiling. His enthusiasm was extraordinary. I can remember doing a carp crew up at Western Park with him. Managed to spend 4 or 5 days up there with him, which was the most enjoyable thing. He was up first in the morning, he was last to bed at night, and the whole time he just desperate to catch fish, and but enjoyed everything along the way. He is deeply missed, but he's one of life's real nice people.
Hi, I'm Mick Rouse, Head of Photography at Bauer Media. I knew Kev for the best part of 20 years. My memories of him are long and very fond. I remember the first day he walked into the office, a cub reporter, fresh out of university, buzzing with ideas, buzzing with enthusiasm. And the very last day that I worked with him, he was still buzzing with that same enthusiasm. So my main thoughts on Kev are somebody who was tremendously hardworking, a thoroughly nice bloke, never ever saw him lose his temper, always had his mind on the job, always had great ideas. He pushed me to new levels as far as photography was concerned. I took his ideas and took them on a stage further, and he probably made me the photographer that I am today, so I owe him an awful lot, and I miss him an awful lot as well.
Well, Kev Green, what can we say about Kev Green that hasn't already been said before, written before and talked about before? He's an absolute legend. Kev was a superstar for me, gave me a good leg up into the world of fishing TV with Carp Crew and Predators, which we did together. He was very patient with me as I fluffed my lines probably several hundred times with my first pike that I held up.
This is the pike with 700 backward facing, razor sharp, sickle shaped teeth. Once the pike's eaten you, you're not coming back, something like that. Poor old Kev heard that in the rain 1,000 times. Anyway, that was the start of it. Then Carp crew, superstar bloke, smashing guy, would help you, do anything for you. Lovely, lovely chap.
We both worked for Kev and with Kev for an awfully long time. Me slightly longer than Rich, and it was an adventure we'll never forget. I'll let Rich explain.
Yeah, I mean, he took me under his wing when I started at Angling Times. Really was a great help to me. I was a junior, didn't really know what I was doing, really nervous, and Kev was just really kind and taught me a lot about journalism, about the angling world, and you know, I'm always going to be grateful for that. And yeah, he was a great boss and a really good friend as well.
Yeah, it's odd people forget that Kev was everybody's mate and just looked after everybody. I mean, I was lucky that we were friends as well as colleagues, and Kev used to fish what we call BP pit, which is virtually in my back garden, and the amount of times I used to get phone calls of, "Are you about, Broady? Can you just nip down and do us a picture?" And the man with the flask would be there and would nip down, have a very stale stewed brew and take a picture of a cracker. So a nice man who's very sorely missed by us all.
Yeah, very sorely missed, and it's great today just to have a bit of a get together with everyone who everyone here was his friend, and yeah, great lad.
Kev Green, when did I first meet? I first met Kev when I took a job as a cub reporter, match reporter on Angling Times in middle of 1996. Kev had been there a few years, and he very kindly decided to share a house with me, which we did for...
Terrifying, I'd imagine.
It was a little bit. We shared a house for many, many years as reporters on Angling Times, and we got to loads and loads of great stuff, and as you can imagine, two anglers with a house full of fishing tackle. It was absolutely everywhere. There was junk, fishing gear on the kitchen table, fishing gear in the kitchen, every little spot drawer, cubbyhole was just full of stuff. And sometimes I'd come home from work and you'd go in the kitchen, the smell was just... You didn't know if Kev was making a curry or he was doing some fish meal bait.
Yeah, rolling some boilies.
It was only when he'd come out of the kitchen with a tub of tomato ketchup you realised it was food.
He never knew a Kev, did he? Because he put ketchup and everything, didn't he?
But they were great times. And more
it was a great glog.
More importantly, I learned as a reporter starting out in the trade, I learned a hell of a lot from Kev, which I'll always be grateful for. You know, he was always patient. Just a great fella. We then got straightened out a few years after that, when Joe moved in, and then later on my missus moved in, and all the fishing tackle got dumped in the garage, and you know, the house became habitable.
Yeah, like a house. yeah, like a real
human
house.
beings, I suppose. So, but you know, and then we went separate ways. We got married each. I can remember Kev, you know, coming to my wedding. This was a little bit further away, but I remember going to the evening do, and it was laughter everywhere. It was really good times, and you know, he was an inspiration in terms of everything that he did at work, but just also him as a human being was, you know. I go fishing now, and he was, you know, from my match fishing background, Kev kind of got me into, or inspired me to do a bit of carp fishing, and I absolutely love carp fishing now. And every time I go, I always have a cast for Kev, and if that always works out as a big fish, even better. It was just great times, and you know, still miss the guy.
Yeah, and then when he left Angling Times, didn't he? He came to me wanting to improve. What was that, 2006-ish? Yeah, I think he was my boss for about eight years or so. And yeah, when I say Steve kind of said it, you know, I can't praise the guy high enough. I mean, he kind of brought me on. I came from a non-journalist background. I'd been a sand engineer, so like absolutely nothing. I left school with no English, nothing, you know, kind of. And Kev brought me on sort of leaps and bounds. And not the best thing for a journalist, but Kev actually found out I was dyslexic. It was not the kind of thing you'd put at the top of any sort of like, yeah, can you spell? No, but I'd love to be a journalist. Yeah, spell it. But yeah, so Kev was brilliant at that, you know, kind of instrumental. And so I was in that, the fact that he kind of realised that, and he brought my confidence on leaps and bounds, and it kind of sort of put me to where I am now. You know, kind of featured it, as you know, and it's just
you know, it's all to thank with Kev, really. You know, I miss him every day. He was just a fantastic, passionate guy that he never judged. It was always, nothing was ever a problem with Kev. You know, it was kind of like, right, this is the problem. We've got that, so we know there's a problem, so let's sort it. You know, there was never like sort of doom and gloom or kind of it's your fault, fingers pointed. It was like, right, roll your sleeves up, and let's get it. Let's sort this out.
Graft, wasn't it? And
yeah.
It wasn't shy.
He was just a fantastic
guy. He wasn't
guy.
shy putting in some graft.
No, and I miss him every day. He was just a fantastic, just a really, really genuine guy. And if he's like, you know, kind of guy you trust every day of the week and twice on Sundays. I mean, I just, you know, it was an honour and a pleasure to have met him, worked with him, and you know, being able to call him my friend.
Well, I met Kev obviously a lot later than you two. It was at the NEC in 2007.
It was, yes.
A day Mark probably remembers as well.
We're all younger then and then.
Well, yeah. And through Improve Your Course Fishing, they were running a competition to try and find, quote, the next angling superstar. And
we never did find it.
Never did find him either, no. And
still looking.
Yeah. Some spotty little oik came in, sat himself in front of the camera and gave it the big one, and for some reason Kev thought he'd give him a chance, and I think that says a lot about Kev, that he would always give people a chance. He gave me an opportunity to write for the magazine and to do stuff for the magazine when other people hadn't. There was nothing in it for him other than he saw some potential and gave me a chance, and for that I'll always be eternally grateful. I mean, literally, Kev gave me the career that I now have, and I'll never be able to, never be able to thank him enough for that. And I think today has been the perfect day for Kev. I mean, the anglers that have come round have loved the place. And I've never been here before, and Kev was always saying how much he liked it here. And I can see why now. And I think there's very few other people in this sport, or probably a lot of sports, that get such a big turnout of both professionals and obviously the public coming out to
pay their respects,
but with a smile on their face, and that's obviously a great thing as well. So never be able to thank him enough for the things that he done for me, and I think there's a lot of other people out there that would feel exactly the same.
Yeah, I think it sums it up. It's you know, it's not a day that anyone has sadness. You know, it's people have come here to celebrate. Kev and everything, you know, everything that he did and everything that the experience we had with him. It's a day of celebration for those things, and you know, I'm sure he's up there looking at us and saying, "You played that fish like a muppet," or whatever. You know. He's still laughing.
I didn't cast. They're never going to catch nothing there.
You know, and you know, so
there you go.
I know Kev for quite a few years through working at Nutribaits and supplying him with his bait originally. I met him quite a few times over the years on a lake we were both fishing. Fun, genuine kind of guy, always willing to help in fishing, out of fishing, just in general. Just a decent guy. Obviously, taken too soon, but that's life, I'm afraid, and we're here today just to give a little bit back. I think it's what Kevin wanted. He did quite a lot in, sort of saying, fishing and out of fishing and just in general life, so whatever little we can do to help along the way, then that's what we're here for and what we'd like to do.
Bob Roberts here. I'm going to say a few words about Kev, and it's hard, you know, because I first met Kev almost 20 years ago. He was fresh out of university, cub reporter at the Angling Times, and we went to Canada together and fished on the St. Lawrence River. And I used to see him there as a dormouse because I've never seen anyone sleep so much. In the time I've known him, I never crossed words with him once. He was a fabulous... He turned out to be my mentor, not the other way around. I miss him to this day.
We were approached by the Angling Trades Association and the PAA to form the Kevin Green Angling Academy, and the aim is to form these around the country. We have formed the southern one as an actual charity, and it was Kevin's passion to get people into angling and teach them angling. Also, we want to set this up as an education centre, so his name lives on. He was very passionate, from my understanding, about angling. I've never met Kevin, but everything I've seen and heard about him is absolutely amazing. The passion and drive that he had for angling and pushing it on for the future and educating children and people that didn't necessarily have the opportunity to go fishing. What an amazing man.
Yeah, I've only ever met Kevin once, which was when I was on the board for the Clapham Angling Preservation Society in London. And as I say, I only met him the once. He's got more passion than I've ever had, and I'm pretty passionate about it. I've retired. I spend all my life now coaching kids, both with learning disabilities, young offenders, ADHA, ADHD, and basically anybody who wants to learn to fish, I'm there to teach them.
Yeah, all the members of the committee are very passionate about angling and getting more people involved in angling. And as Dave says, we're trying to aim it at adults with learning difficulties, and we've already done some coaching sessions under the Kevin Green Academy for adults with learning difficulties, and they were between the ages of 25 and 55. And to see their faces when they caught fish, it was absolutely amazing. What a day that was, wasn't it, Dave?
Yeah, it was absolutely terrific.
And I'm so pleased that we've been asked to form this academy on behalf of Jo, Kevin's wife. We feel very privileged to be asked to do that.
Yeah, I can't add anything at all to that. As I say, I'll just keep doing what I'm doing every day of the week until such times as I can't do it anymore.
And I'm sure the academy will go from strength to strength around the country and then become a brand, a national brand of the Kevin Green Angling Academies.
Right, if I had to describe Kev, I would say he was a very, very passionate guy, and the ultimate professional even. Some of his writing was absolutely superb, and I worked with him very, very closely on Improve Your Course Fishing while I was out with Corder, etc. What I always got from Kev was he made you want to go fishing because he was so enthusiastic about his angling, and every time I talked about it, it just made me want to go myself. So yeah, fantastic guy. Alright, are you going to stay calm?
I'll stay calm, mate, I promise.
I know you will.
That's brilliant. Hold it right there. Looking up at me, come on, big one. That's perfect. And again, just hold him there a second. Just going to come in a little closer for the last one, crop it really tight. Final time. Job done, mate, I think. Spot on.
Yeah?
Perfect.
Just one for Billy as well, if you wouldn't mind.
I didn't say it on camera, but when young did they think you were his dad?
No, just one closer first. I was far too good looking for that.
Grandad.
Thanks, mate. He's lovely, isn't he, Si?
I've got some shots of everybody in there.
Oh, thank you.
Like it's autofocus, we'd have them out of focus on purpose, James.
Well, I've cut his head off. I've had it since I was about 20.
We've got some of the biggest names in fishing here today, but the real stars of the show are Kev's sons, Theo and Reuben, and the VIP guest, Jo, his wife. Sad day, but a very special day. You must be very proud today, Jo.
Oh, I am indeed, yes.
Kevin loved it here, so well, that was the main reason. He definitely wanted to come and see what it was all about, because he talked about it lots, and he actually wanted us all to come once he knew he was poorly, but unfortunately we didn't get to, so that was sad. But at least today we've been able to come and bring Reuben and Theo
And
to see all the people fishing.
I love Reuben's t-shirt with the whale on it. Is this Fisherman of the Future?
Oh, we hope so. We're going to have a go a bit later, aren't we?
That'd be really
Have
nice.
a go with one of the coaches, aren't you? See if you can catch a little fish.
You gone shy, Reuben?
Do you want to try and catch a little fish? With Mummy. We'll try, won't we?
And what do you think, if Kev was looking down on us now, what would he think of today?
He'd wish he was here.
Yeah, that's true.
Definitely. I'm sure we'd have a few things to say to some of the guys that are fishing, because he'd have an opinion, wouldn't he? And some tips, I'm sure. But no, he'd be very proud and thankful that everyone's come out today and doing all this in his memory. So no, we're all very proud of it, and I'm sure he would be too.
It's a special tribute to him, isn't it?
Oh, it is.
All my years of fishing, I've never known anything like this.
No, I haven't. So it's great that everyone's given up their time, and all the people that have organised it, Andy and Brian, they put so much into it. So we just thank them for it as well. So.
And I thought that was a lovely family photo with Terry Hearn and that big fish with the boys.
Oh, yes.
And with Kev's dad and his brother. That was a lovely moment.
No, we can't wait to see that one. So that'll be lovely. Won't it?
You're not really shy, are you, Reuben? That's a microphone. You could talk into that.
Say hello. So we can hear what you say.
Do you want to go and catch a fish now?
Shall we go and try and catch a fish? See if you can catch one. But they can hear what you say on the television.
I told you might be on the television next week. See your Whale of a Time t-shirt.
Yay! Oh,
see that? Your daddy used to be on the television. See that man now. Tell him you're going to go and try and catch a fish. Go on, I dare you.
So I'm going to catch a bigger fish than Daddy. No.
Do you think one day you'll catch a bigger fish than Daddy? No.
No.
I was with your daddy once and he caught a fish bigger than you are.
You did.
How did you get the microphone off?
It's just clipped onto Mum's top.
Why is it clipped on? But why is there pipes?
It's just how it works,
Joe, I
darling.
don't want you to be driving home in the car and wish you'd have said something. Anything you want to say? Or you've been great.
I don't know.
No,
I
you've
said
been great.
something
You're really
thanked everybody.
nurturing from the heart.
Yeah.
But I don't want you to think, oh,
No.
I should have said so and so.
I'm sure I will after, but you always do, don't you? But I can't think right now.
No, we're happy then. If you're happy, Reuben's great. We got a cutaway of Theo. No, thank you very much. I know it's not easy.
So there we go, a fitting day I think for such a great man. The man who organised it all, Brian.
Yeah.
How do you think it's gone, mate?
I'm absolutely over the moon with it. It's been fabulous. We've had some great fish caught, some carp to over 20, some nice perch, some nice bream. And the feedback from people walking around has just been, it was a fitting tribute to Kevin because it was relaxed, enthusiastic, what fishing should be. And that's what,
more of a celebration.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
and that's exactly, I think, what Kevin would have wanted. Because that's what fishing was to him, something to be enjoyed.
Definitely, definitely. I mean, as you've seen, all the fitting tributes that everybody's paid to Kevin, you can see what a well thought of man and just how much he really did contribute to the angling industry itself. So
top guy and top angling professional. And all the plaudits he's deserved, every single one of them.
Yeah, it was fantastic to see Joe and the kids as well.
Yeah,
so,
absolutely.
Yeah. All right, well, thanks ever so much for such a great day, and thank you for inviting us down. It's been great.
No problem.
Thank you.
Okay, cheers.